In this video, what we're going to do is install all of the packages that we're going to be using throughout the rest of the course, get them all added into Webpack. And the reason we're doing this here is so we don't have to worry about installing packages in the future. Now, if you already grabbed the basic templates that I provided for this course, you already have these packages. But bear with me, we'll install them. And in addition, I am going to make a change to our babel-rc. Currently, we are including the transform runtime plugin, which goes in and takes all those little bits that are added by Babel, such as helper functions for creating classes and all that fun stuff, and it takes it and it abstracts it into a single package, and it also provides kind of a polyfill for other potential things. Unfortunately, the way that I set up these plugins, it seems that the transform runtime doesn't play very nicely with it, and I ran into some issues. So I'm going to be replacing the transform runtime with babel-polyfill. Babel-polyfill is just like what it says. It's a polyfill. It'll provide some of the things that some browsers don't have, such as promises and so on, so that we can increase our browser compatibility. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to remove transform runtime completely. Then I'm going to go ahead and, I guess, install our packages. So, well, first I'm going to uninstall the transform runtime. So I'm going to do npm-save npm uninstall-save babel runtime. So that will remove it from disk as well as go out and remove it from our packages.config. Our package.config. Now let's go ahead and install the packages that we're going to need. So npm install --save. We're going to grab the babel-polyfill. We're going to grab React Router. React Router is a package we'll be taking a look at shortly that allows us to route different URLs to different maps of components. We're going to do socket.io as well as socket.io-client. So socket.io is the server side, socket.io client is the client side. Now, if you use socket.io before without Webpack, you know that you can include socket.io as the server and then get the client by pinging the server. But in the way that we are going to be setting this up, we're going to be including the socket.io client directly from an import statement, so it'll be bundled into our vendor.js file, as opposed to being served out dynamically. And that actually, I think, is it. Oh, of course, ReactJS. So we want reactive extensions. And we should already have Lodash installed. So all of these guys will install now. And now that they're all installed, let's go ahead and import them into our webpack.config.js as vendor dependencies. So what we're going to do is we are going to include our React Router as a vendor dependency, our socket.io-client, and ReactJS. So all of these packages will be included in the vendor.js file. Now, to include the babel-polyfill, we're going to add that to our client bundle, our entry for the client. So if we scroll down to our client entry array, I'm going to add babel-polyfill in before. And what that'll do is that'll add the polyfill and execute the polyfill before our client.js is executed. And what's great about that is then it'll just magically hook into the global object and provide all of these potential features for additional methods and additional classes that have been added by recent versions of JavaScript that not all browsers have up to date. Remember, do not add just the socket.io package to our vendor list because, of course, that is a server-only package. We'll only be importing it from the server. The last thing I'm going to do in this video is I'm going to change an ESLint rule. I'm going to come down here to after no console, and I'm going to say no unused vars, and I'm going to set that to a warn. So no unused vars is very helpful, and I encourage in production builds that you use it. It prevents you from having a variable that isn't being referenced anywhere, so it helps you clean up your code, helps you clean up your import statements very easily. But sometimes it gets kind of annoying when I'm doing some development work, just playing around with stuff. So I'm going to set it to a warn so it doesn't prevent things from building, but it'll still show up both in my IDE as well as our console window. And with that, I guess we're ready to get started. So we'll see you guys in the next video.